Hey folks, this is Matt once again, and this time I'm talking about the sequel, Beverly Hills Cop II, which weirdly enough, it was the one I watched the most when I was a kid, and watching it again, I gotta say, I really like this film. I hold it up there with the first Beverly Hills Cop film. It's very funny, but it also has there's more action-packed than the first one. I think, well, you give more laughs in the first one, but this has a good share of laughs and a good share of action. Directed by Tony Scott. And I like Tony Scott as a director. I don't like all of his films, but I like Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3, the remake he did. Deja Vu I enjoyed. Top Gun. Crimson Tide. Enemy of the State. So I like a lot of his films. Now, Beverly Hills Cop 2, I think because the success of the first film, well, I know it's the success of the first film, that they wanted to do a TV series of Beverly Hills Cop, which is a very strange notion. I mean, a TV show just would not fucking work. I mean, they're rated R, although the first Police Academy was rated R, and they made that into a TV series, which was not really that successful from what I haven't seen the show, but I don't think many people even know of the show. But a TV show of this would not work, and thankfully Eddie Murphy did not want to go back to TV since he was in SNL all those years. So they thought a sequel, and actually also I think they say it on here, so it's not like I think, I'm guessing. Because this actually has some good features. A trailer, a featurette on the song Shakedown by Bob Seger, a deleted scene which I'll talk about later, original behind the scenes featurette from back in the day, and a new 20-some minute interviews with Tony Scott and Judge Reinhold, John Ashton, and that they shot for the DVD. Some good features. But originally another idea, since it wasn't going to be a TV series, was for a sequel that they were going to go overseas. Like Ronny Cox's character would be either in Paris or London, or there's some seminar for police chiefs or something goes wrong, and Eddie Murphy, John Ashton, and Judge Reinhold have to go overseas to help out. But Eddie Murphy didn't want to leave home. He wanted to stay here in the States. So they had this idea. Bruckheimer and Don Simpson come back to produce. Again, they had Tony Scott, which they had worked on Top Gun, to do this film. And Beverly Hills Cop, something I noticed that's kind of strange is that all three of these films, if you think about it, all three of these movies deal with Eddie Murphy, a friend of his gets shot, and he has to venture to Beverly Hills in order to take revenge, but not really, but catch the bad guy and save the day. So really it's all starts with a personal vendetta in a way. Because in the first one it was his friend Mikey, in the second one it's Ronny Cox's character, and in the third one it's Inspector Todd, played by Gilbert Hill, I think is his name. And it's a kind of interesting notion. I guess that's why one of their ideas for Beverly Hills Cop 4 is to have Judge Reinhold's character get shot, which I would not like, to be honest. But anyway, Beverly Hills Cop 2, I found it to be entertaining, and basically, the plot is Ronny Cox's character gets shot, and he's sort of in a coma. Eddie Murphy's character hears about this, so he ventures to Beverly Hills to join up with Taggart and Rosewood, Judge Reinhold, John Ashton again. And there's these robberies played by this alphabet killer who leaves these notes that the police try to crack the code in order to find out who the killer is or where the next target is. And basically it deals with sort of gun smuggling, and you have Jurgen Prochnow as our main bad guy. Also Brigitte Nielsen, who was married to Stallone at the time. That's probably how it helped her get the job. A lot of times they reference in the interviews that she's like a James Bond. I remember Tony Scott said he wanted to do a white Grace Jones, and Brigitte Nielsen fits that. Even Dean Stockwell, who I remember from Quantum Leap, but he was also in Blue Velvet, a lot of other stuff. He's in this as one of the cronies for Jurgen Prochnow. And they rob for money, and they're going to get guns and sell them overseas for a lot more money. Plots in these films are not really the strongest point, but the comedy and the action, mainly the wit, is the main component. The reason we're watching is because of that guy right there. And this is a solid sequel. I like this film just as much as the first one, to be honest. I like the Eddie Murphy. Axel Foley's still the bullshit artist. I mean, he in the beginning still. First off, the beginning, that great song "Shakedown" by Bob Seger. Shake down, break down, you're busted. Bam, bam. And him driving the Porsche. And as a kid, this was the one I saw the most as a kid. That always got me pumped up. That opening, Eddie Murphy doing that. Beverly HIlls Cop II. Look at the mirror. It always got me energized. All right, let's go. This is a great, fun, comedic ride we're going to take on. And elements I like about the movie, I like the fact that the three characters, Axel, Rosewood, Taggart, they're really together trying to solve this case. Eddie Murphy mentioned something which I'm going to bring up when I talk about this movie next time. Eddie Murphy in the they have a featurette from the old days. It's about how he wouldn't do the film without those two, which is weird considering he did this and there was no John. I'll get to that later. But about how it's almost like a Three Musketeers type of thing. And I like that aspect because these are three solid actors and three great characters, and they're fun together. They work well playing off each other, and you miss that a lot in the third entry. But it was great that the three of them were on the case for the most part in the film. And in the beginning, Eddie Murphy was doing some bullshit trying to get this credit card guy. He even meets up with the guy he was trying to bullshit with in the first film in the back of the truck. And you have Inspector Todd. Because Eddie Murphy finds out that Ronny Cox got shot, and he wants to go there and needs some money, some flash money. And Inspector Todd's like, "We're the bad guys at the end of this rainbow." Eddie Murphy's like, "I'm trying to think." "Stop thinking, Axel. It's making my dick itch." He's great. And he talks about how he has the Porsche, and I'm just going to take care of him. I'm going to be there 24 hours a day. I'm going to eat, drink, shit. Well, not shit, but I gotta be away for a few days. I'm deep, but here I gotta go deep, 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 deep undercover. Eddie Murphy plays a lot better than I could ever. That's why it's incentive to see the film, see how a guy in his prime can handle that wit. And he's a bullshit artist, and he's still a wise ass, which is missing in the next one. But he's still a wise ass. He did this in the Beverly Hills, and he bullshits a guy and gets a house. He says he's a building inspector and says, "Oh, these are the wrong plans. These are old plans." And he's like, "They want a circular." And the guy's like, "Why do they want to live in the donut?" It's like, "What are you, a fucking art critic? They want to live in the donut? Let them live in the donut." And as the movie goes along, he gets with Judge Reinhold and John Ashton and figuring out that in the shooting deals back with the robberies is dealing back to a gun club that our main bad guy also happens to own. And Eddie Murphy finds Brigitte Nielsen in there. I think actually before that he has that thing with the bomb. He asked Rosewood, Judge Reinhold, for his vitamins and his bag, and bullshits the lady saying that it's a bomb. I'm just gonna leave it here, and she's like, "Wait a minute," "But I want some money for this, I'm not gonna say word for word. See the movie yourself, or you've seen the movie yourself, and you can watch the movie again and get better enjoyment out of it. And he gets into the gun club and this Brigitte Nielsen, and whether it's a gun club, they're the shooting range, and they have projections of people, and you shoot with lasers. Eddie can't do it, so he gets his real gun. People look at him because he blew a hole in all the fucking projections. But when he meets Brigitte Nielsen when she leaves, he's like, "That's a big bitch," because he's having to stay on his tiptoes because he's intimidated by this girl. I found it very funny. Other moments is like when they're investigating and John Ashton and Judge Reinhold get to his house. It's like, you stole his house. How the fuck you steal a house? You know, it's my uncle's house. He has a TV. Look at the big titties. Come on, we got titties, we got oranges, we got beer. Get your ass in this pool. And John Ashton's taunting is like, ooh, I love it when you get mad. Get your mad ass in this pool. And John Ashton slips, falls in the pool, and Judge Reinhold laughs at him. And John Ashton has to wear his weird, stupid suit. And they actually go to another sort of strip club. And Eddie Murphy tells everybody, that's Gerald Ford.